Okay, somebody asked a great question about why child labor laws. How did that start? How did that come to be? Like, why were people saying, "Hey, we don't want children to work anymore"? Well, it really started out that, like, especially in the early part of American society, like especially in the 1700s, children, it was part of like what happened in day-to-day life. Children had to help work out on the farm, were mainly agricultural. And then as the United States grows and time goes on, we have the Industrial Revolution, and with that, in the 1800s and the second one in the 1900s, children are a really good source of labor because they're smaller. So in the factories, they can go and get into places that adults can't. Also, they're easier to manage, and you could use corporal punishment. That means beatings. You could hit, and hit, because the child was obviously smaller. You could hit the child, like in your reading about the Breaker Boys, and about how the boss would have a broom and go around and smack the kids around. That was seen as socially acceptable and okay to do. Of course, now that's not. And then also, you could pay them less because they were children. So what would happen with the growth of factories and kids working around in these areas, you would have children who were really treated horribly, and they would end up spending long hours working in very dangerous conditions. So here's some pictures of children working in some pretty bad conditions. Look how small she is, and she's using a knife to like shell oysters, and she as a young child. And so you can see, children were just not treated very well, and they were very young and working in some pretty hard conditions. And so we're having to work, like, this is a picture of the Bobbin Boys. You have to imagine this huge room full of all these machines and it being so loud. Like, imagine a Beyonce concert times like 1,000 of just like all the noise from all the machinery. And these machines are going very, very fast. And it was the boys' jobs. As soon as this bobbin would lose the thread, they would have to take the full bobbins here and go here and refill it and restring the machine without the machine stopping. And so they had to be very quick on their feet to change these bobbins. Now, if your hand or their foot or something got caught in the machine, guess what? They didn't stop the machine. Oh, too bad, you lost your hand. Horrible, right? So again, very dangerous conditions, and there wasn't like workman's comp. If you got hurt, oh well, too bad, they just fired you and they hired somebody else to take your place. So what happened with this is people started saying, hey, we cannot have our children, the future of our country, work in these horrible conditions and get hurt. So the people worked to help protect children working in factories. And they focused on not wanting to jeopardize the health, the well-being, like the emotional well-being, or educational opportunities. So what happens with child labor is, after things like Jacob Riis, How the Other Half Lives, where they talk about what is happening to kids during this time, that gets publicized. Pictures like this get publicized, and people realize how bad things are. They start working to protect children, and so laws get put into place that help protect children. And we really want to focus on making their lives better, and to do that, to be able to have an education. And so this is when people, like groups of people, join together, form organizations that work together to protect children. And that's where we get child labor laws from.